So I'd like to go over a potential crude oil trade from this morning. Starting at the daily level, we have what's called a pinball 2 trade. This was a system coined by Linda Raschke, whereby the daily prices lift off from the 5-period simple moving average, in which case the first test back should get, at the very least, some sort of reflex bounce. And then taking it down a time frame to the 240-minute chart, you can see that we had this wave pattern complete to the downside at around 1 a.m., which is your European pre-market time. And over the next 4 hours, it basically created a bottoming bar here, which means taking out that high shows the wave pattern changing to the upside, the direction changing to the upside. Now that's a fairly large time frame and a fairly large risk bar, so to get more precision, we drill down to a 5-minute chart. And on this 5-minute chart, you can see we had this trend line, which, in theory, you could have this trend line, you could have this trend line, but what I like to do is I keep adjusting them up until a reasonable time, which for me is 7 a.m. That's typically when I start looking at markets. So the best trend line at that point in time was this. And initially, there was this breakout to the upside that failed very quickly and flushed out any breakout buyers. But then, on the pit opening bar, which was very high volume and very high range, we see a very good recovery and a close near the top of that bar. And pretty much the next bar broke out above that previous breakout high. So for me now, this becomes the key risk bar from which to trigger the trade. So I would buy stop above this level and go for 2 times the size of this bar, which is up here at 64.32. Another consideration for taking profits would be to look at another higher time frame and see that at 64.29 there was this previous swing low. So that being in the range of the target could be the level to take your profits up against. And once this trade triggered, let me go back to the 5-minute. Once this trade triggered, it spent about 20 minutes consolidating, and then it was a fairly straight up and painless move to the price target.